Hey, it's all with another video. Brought to you by Forstakens by Raymond Martinez. Fully organic, grass-fed, and necrotic. I think it's a good idea to say this up front. The following video is all speculation and opinion, so consider this an exercise of fun and not fact. Anduin Wrynn. I like saying it like that. Beloved by his people, beautiful and blonde, and beleaguered by the weight of leadership. Fans around the world are eager to see what's in store for him in his new role as leader of the Grand Alliance. Critics deride Anduin not just for his actions and circumstance, but his very character, the guts, that make him the man he is today. Some say that he's a boy king, written to do no wrong. A Mary Sue, the undisputed character to walk the hero's journey of this chapter in Warcraft. And if he is, fine, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. Today I want to talk about one facet of Anduin's, and that's his motivations to do right by the Alliance, his fellow humans, and his own conscience. And then to ask this crazy question: does he even have a conscience anymore? To get to what I'm talking about, I have to bring up one of Anduin's most traumatic experiences in his young life, the near-fatal injuries he suffered during the events of the Pandaren campaign. The Divine Bell, an ancient artifact built by servants of Lei Shen, the Thunder King, was destroyed by Garrosh Hellscream, and in the wake of its destruction, Anduin was buried under the remnants of the bell. The Divine Bell itself was only referenced a few times since, notably during the events of the War Crimes book, when Anduin sort of virtually relived the experience. He obviously survives the attack and then goes on to become king. Years later, after the invasion of the Burning Legion and the coronation of Anduin as king, mention of the Divine Bell resurfaces. Here, it's clearly explained that the injury caused by the Divine Bell has had some sort of psychological or physical effect on Anduin. Thinking or attempting to commit immoral acts causes physical pain for Anduin. I'll repeat the audacity here. An injury by a giant bell prevents Anduin from acting even remotely like a bad guy. Otherwise, he experiences great pain. Oh, the power to not be bad. Okay, great. So at first glance, this sounds pretty darn ridiculous. What sort of injury does that to a person? To find out, we have to look at the Divine Bell itself and what it once was. It was a weapon created during the reign of the Thunder King and was meant to serve two purposes: to buff the user's armies with emotions of hatred and anger while debuffing enemies with fear and doubt. The following is text taken from in-game that refers to the Divine Bell.
A bell cast from the Maker's flesh, shaped by star's fire, and bound by the breath of darkest shadow. This bell, when rung, could shake the world and call to the heavens.
The Maker likely refers to High Keeper Ra, one of the Titanic Watchers. Ra was imprisoned by the Thunder King during this era, which more or less confirms a connection between the Watcher's scarred body and the bell. Star's fire is probably arcane magic, which the Mogu race was familiar with, as they were originally created by the Titan Forges. Darkest Shadow almost surely means the Shah, remnants of the old god Yasarj, who was defeated long ago. The heart of Yasarj was all that remained of it at the time, to be researched for a possible future use. The in-game text describes the actual use of the bell.
It fueled their hatred and anger, lending them strength on the field of battle. The bell's screaming voice struck fear and doubt into the hearts of the Emperor's enemies, sending them fleeing in his path.
This shares a pretty clear relationship between Yasarj and its play on emotions. Alright, so let's fast forward to the near present. This bell, forged by a titan's flesh and shaped with arcane magic and wrapped in void energy, was shattered, and Anduin was left buried under the rubble. We don't know what happened in this particular moment, just that something happened with the bell and Anduin that could later affect his behavior in a very specific way. Now let's be fair though, this is all it could really be. Just a really bad injury that screwed with Anduin's mind as well as his body. And it just happens that it prevents Anduin from being anything but a Cub Scout, and that might be it. But what if it's something more? It would be a ways to take this titanic old god bell thing and not have it mean anything more than just a few aches and pains, so let's speculate. There's a possibility that Anduin could be influenced by lingering titanic energies that were contained within the bell. That would mean that at some level, Anduin might be infused with not only the essence of High Keeper Ra, but a piece of the leader of the Pantheon, Aman'thul himself. Because long ago, when aman'thul's body was destroyed by Sargeras, a part of him was thrown into the Great Dark and eventually found its way to Highkeeper Ra. Keep this in mind too, Highkeeper Ra, or Ra-Den, is missing. Ever since his first appearance in the Throne of Thunder, which by the way, takes place after the destruction of the Divine Bell, he hasn't been seen. Even in Legion, his presence was more of a memory than his actual presence. So where is he? There is a lot to ask about the Titan side of the Bell if there was some sort of lingering flicker of power. This power could be unconsciously or directly influencing Anduin's decisions. What if this power also enhanced Anduin's life, as in making him ageless? It makes this panel from the Son of the Wolf comic have a lot more potential impact. And then there's the Void Energies by Yasarj that helped create the Bell. From the research that I've done, there's been no indication of whispers getting into Anduin's head, only the aches from his injuries. This may not mean that Anduin is free and clear of a dark influence though. If there are in fact both Titan and Void Energies inside him, a conflict in Anduin's head could be triggering the Void Energy while the Titan energy tries to suppress it maybe, resulting in these pains. And on top of that, we have to consider the events that take place at the end of the Before the Storm book involving him, Alon's Fowl, the Naru Sara, and how they raised Kalia into undeath. Did this injury have anything to do with making this resurrection work? Or, in the defense of my conspiracy of the light theory, would this resurrection have worked regardless, meaning Sara knew about Anduin's condition and wanted to do something with the power of the Divine Bell inside him, like subvert it, or enhance it, or steal it? But let's put the brakes on that for now, and let's bring things back. Speculation aside, there's one thing I at least have convinced myself of. That the influence of the Divine Bell may not have corrupted Anduin, but it's threatening to compromise Anduin as a character in Warcraft. It's going to make me, as a fan, second-guess the actions that he takes, just like fans have used the Whispers of Il'gynoth to question many characters involved in World of Warcraft Legion. As a young king in a time of great turmoil, Anduin's advisors and fellow leaders have his ear. He also considers his fellow humans, and the Alliance as a whole, and Azeroth. Anduin also has to consider his conscience, and over the course of the Before the Storm book, he also seems to rely on whether or not he feels pain when making these decisions. That's not good. That pretty much defines operant conditioning, and Anduin's not a puppy. He's a puppy. So what do you think? Is Anduin still the moral rock that many seem to think that he is? Share your thoughts in a comment below. Of course, hit that like button if you enjoyed this little theory, and subscribe for more of this and all things Warcraft. I'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.